Hello everyone, welcome back to PJ's CAD class. Today we would like to talk about this Signet ring, and I built a wax model here just to show you that you need to reverse your text and you can actually make an imprint on the wax and something like this. To build this ring, it's quite simple. There are a few commands that we need to build this ring. First of all, we'll create few curves in order to do the curve network to build the surface. And one of the things I write here is extended curve. That's the specific one we want to use is arc to point. So I want to write it down here so you know which one you're going to use. After we build all the curve, we'll use curve network command to build the surface. And once we build the surface, we'll make it solid, and then we are going to cut it out inside of a ring shank and also put the text on the top. Remember to reverse the text so that way you can imprint on the wax as the right direction. Okay, all right, let's get started. Like most of my tutorial, we're going to use a ring shank. Inside diameter is 16 millimeter for most of my demonstration. Okay, on the top view right now, so I make a circle for inside of a ring shank, and then on the top view I want to snapping into the quadrant right here. On the top view, what I like to do is make a circle, and depends on how big you like to have a top ring over there. And I was snapping into the quadrant, then I want to turn on my gumball and kind of moving up. You can move up by the arrow right there, or what you can do is go ahead and type. So let's say I want to move up 5.5 millimeter. Okay, so that's showing how tall that will be, right? Now we need to go back to the front view to creating a profile. I'm going to use the arc tool and snap to 0 and kind of create a half circle right here. With that, I do want to have the bottom maybe look a little bit thinner, and on the side of the shank a little bit thicker. So I want to turn on my control point by F10, or you can hit on the icon. Then you want to moving up a little bit, so that way you can see the profile of our ring is tapered on the bottom. Okay, on the top right now is that what I was written earlier is we're going to use the curve, extending the curve, and we want to extending from the arc to the point. What I mean is I'm going to extend this bottom of a ring shank and make sure the quadrant is on and the endpoint is on your all snap. All right, so I want to extending from here to the quadrant, and let me do one more time. I'm going to extending from this arc to the quadrant. Okay, so now I have this profile as my ring. I'm just gonna go ahead and join. Oh, they already joined. Okay, so if you look at the perspective, they are going to look like this. All right, so now we have this curve. We kind of get the idea of this is the profile of a ring. But if you look at this view, we need to let the computer know like how thick do we want to have this ring. Okay, and I'm going to draw from the right view. So I'm gonna use the curve, snapping again to the quadrant, and I kind of draw down to what the profile that I like to see, and make sure I snapping back to the quadrant, right? In order it's not getting that pointed and you need to look all the way around it, I would like to turn on my control point again, just make sure that this is close to my last point as possible. Okay, maybe it's too low, going up a little bit. All right, so those 2 points right at this point and this point, they are aligned, so the ring will look seamless possible. Now I have the curve, right? And then we are going to use the curve network. The way the curve network works is you need to tell them 2 directions. So this curve, it's going to be split by the middle curve we just draw. So you got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to mark those 3 into the green color. So those 3 creating one direction. You can see from this first one, second one to the third one. All right. So that's one direction. We need to have another direction there. So in order to have more control, I want to make sure the middle one go with the way that I want it. Okay. So I'm going to the top view, and I'm going to draw a rectangular right here. This doesn't matter how big is it unless you want a specific thickness of the ring. What I like to do is I want to explode it and delete those 2. And I'm gonna use the blend tool to blend from this end to that end. Okay, and one more time this end to that end. Okay, and the reason I say I don't really care how big they are is because we are going to scale and put it into the middle section right there. So how I do it, it's going to use the transform, and you have orient and to point. All right, so we're gonna orient from this quadrant to this quadrant and make sure we want to copy in 3D, so that way we can have it snapping here and back to here, right? So that way that will be exactly okay. Now back to the curved neck where we are talking about the green create one direction. We also need to have those 2 black. Let me turn them into the red color to be another direction. However, they need to be open curve like the rest of them. Okay, so I'm going to have use a split. 2 of the red one is going to split by 2 of the green one. So now you have this red and that red in the other direction. All right, so the curved network is stay in the under the surface, and then you have a curved network. So you're gonna choose by order 1, 2, and 3, and the top ray, bottom ray, and then you will get the window like this, and then you just click OK. Then you will get this surface, right? So let me turning into the ghost view right here. Really smooth surface, right? All right, so now let's go to the right view. I have this surface, and I want to mirror to the other side. Okay, all right. Now you probably will have a question, say, hey, PJ, I have this curve going this way, and why it doesn't match that? The reason is because, let me temporarily hide this one. That's because the curve we have, it followed this curve. If you do want it to be puffier, you might need to scale this up a little bit. All right, so that will follow this curve. Okay, so let's turn on this one. Make sure 2 of them is joined, right? So now let's look at the perspective. We have this surface right there. We're going to use a command called cap. You can type it cap, and then you choose this surface. Then it will become a solid. Okay. Next things we wanted to do is turn on, highlight the curve, and then we'll use the solid extruded planar curve straight, right? And that is for us to cut out inside of a ring shank. So have this one select, bowling difference, and then we will get this solid ring. Okay. All right. Next, what we are going to do is we have this curve, we just cut it in half, and I'm going to join back together. I'm gonna giving a wall, the little distance from the wall to the text to the wall. So I'm going to offset this guy, this outside the original curve that I have, and I'm going to offset it, and approximately 1 distance is 1 here, so you can type it 1, and then by moving a mouse inside and outside, you kind of see there's a little bar there. So this case I want to be inside, so that one I'm going to mark That one I'm going to mark into the blue color, so kind of give you an idea that where's the wall is. Okay. Now we are going to the solid tool. It has an interesting function in the Rhino file. It's called wire cut. All right. What we could do is we can extrude this one, making it into the solid and bowling difference, or you can have something quicker. It's called wire cut. You're going to select this curve, and then you're going to select the object, and you hit enter. Right now, if you look at the front view, I have this. Let me enlarge the front view. I have this to show how deep I wanted to cut it. I don't need it super deep because it's just used for imprinted wax. And right here on the command bar, if you want to keep all of them, no, I actually just want to cut it. So once you click on that, enter, and if you look at the perspective view, and they are gone. All right. Okay. The text I'm going to put it in there is my name, PJ. So I'm going to use the text command. Gonna type it here, PJ. All right. The height, and I might need to have it a little bit thicker so I can do the bowling difference. So I may want to have 2, and let's take a look here. All right, so now I have this ring, now I have this PJ. I'm going to align them right in the middle on my top view, right? So I'm going to type it 0. So they are aligned perfectly. Now gonna move this name up. Also, when I try to move it up, I need to make sure they are aligned. So I'm going to do align again. This time at the front view, I'm going to do align from the top, right? So that way they will be on the same level. Okay. Apparently on the top view, this PJ is kind of too big. So I'm gonna scale it down a little bit. Something like this. I mean, it depends on how you like it. So I'm gonna have something like this. All right. One thing I have to keep in mind, if I have this and when I try to print, the text will be reversed. So what I like to do is just kind of rotate it 180 degree with the gumball and make sure that, see, it's not aligned. Make sure that I align them perfectly. So let me do alignment again. Align to the top. All right, so next what I need to do is just bowling, right? Bowling unit, both of them. All right, just want to make sure it's nice on the rendering. So my inside for ring shank, I want to give a little bit radius. Maybe 1 will work. So let's try 1. Whoa, it's not working. All right, stop. All right, so this is what we have for today. It's a Signet ring with the text reverse and intention for imprint the wax. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time in my other video.